gals, welcome back to another Director's Cut. This month, we're actually going a little cliche. We're going to go with the attitude of gratitude. Yay! All right, so it's November. I'm sure you guys have been hearing this topic a lot. But let's go ahead and do this gal style. So, what do you guys have to say, what say you, about gratitude? Amanda.
What say you?
What say you?
What say you?
Doth I speak of?
I love it.
I will say, sometimes it's a challenge for me, and I have to remind myself to be thankful for the small things, to be thankful for the fact that my dog made good choices on the morning walk, or to be thankful for the fact that I got to sleep in, and to sometimes have gratitude for the ability to give myself grace for things that I'm not accomplishing. But it is, I will say, and I feel like I am good at being thankful for friends and for things that people do for me. So if somebody goes out of their way to run an errand for me or to be thoughtful, I feel like I'm very thankful to others, but I have a very hard time being thankful to myself and for just everyday small things.
I'm actually glad you opened with that. I think I'm that way too. I actually tend to be a little bit, even, I guess, annoyed is the best word I could think of in November when it's all the gratitude. And I just want to be like, I don't really care. I hate to say that, but
and
it's
here
true.
we are talking about
I
gratitude.
know. So I think it's good though to be thinking about it. I do just tend to rebel. So it's actually a really good topic for me if I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm glad.
And I've heard that, like with my kids, like, do we have to say what we're thankful for at Thanksgiving? I'm like, well, it's good to stop and think about it, you know, and there are so many ways that people say, you know, what are you thankful for in November? You know, we want to kind of get past that. I think why we chose it as a topic and look at, you know, there are so many things that we can be thankful for, but our problem is that sometimes we can be annoyed at the way it's coming out or oblivious to it. So I think that's what I do. I live my life, you know, pretty good health, pretty good, you know, I have money to buy not everything, but the things I might need, and then some things I might want, and some, you know, and but am I thankful for it every day? Do I appreciate the fact that, you know, we live in this country that be she not perfect, that, you know, it's a pretty good country to live in, and, you know, I mean, there's so many things that are good around, and family and friends that we might just take for granted or focus on problems that. I just think that a lot of times I'm oblivious. I just kind of live this little life and I'm happy. But I'm one of those ones who loves to stop in November and say, I'm thankful for. And in college, I used to always, instead of sending Christmas cards, I'd send thankful cards in November. And I'd just write each of my friends a letter and tell them why I'm thankful for them and what I appreciate about them. And Christmas is so busy, I didn't have time to do it in December. Right, but in Thanksgiving, you got some time off, you know.
I love that.
So it's something that, you know,
really
just
great
stop and not live this life, but be like, I want to think of what I'm thankful for and then tell those people.
I love that. Okay, I'm adopting that. That's great.
Yeah. Well, and I think, like you said, Patty Lynn, with, you know, I can buy the things that I need, and I can take, it becomes like our expectation. I expect that if, you know, I'm hungry, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy this. So I don't feel thankful for that. And I expect my dog just to make good choices. And so I don't like throw him a party every time he makes a good choice. And I do try to acknowledge when he's making good choices, but there becomes this level of expectation or comfort. And so then you do stop being thankful for those little things. Yeah. Or big things. I mean, it's not a little thing to put a roof over your head and feed yourself, but if it's just something you're used to having, a reminder to be thankful for it is good.
But I think I'm glad you brought that up, because I think it is the aspect of we take so much for granted. Like you mentioned, you know, our country. Not always all the great things, but to be honest, we look at what we have, the freedoms we have, and we live where we live, and we take it for granted. Having been in other countries and seeing the limitations and seeing people being, I think, really grateful in circumstances you're like, gosh, I don't know if I would be grateful in that circumstance. That's one of those things that I'm grateful that I've had an opportunity to be able to go serve in some places, just to have a little peek into that. But it's an everyday thing. And, I think it's that wisdom in, having a gratitude journal. And I know we laugh at that and get annoyed at that. But it's, to start your day with like, okay, what am I grateful for today? The day hasn't started yet, but what am I grateful that I went, or, maybe do it at night. What was I grateful for that happened today? And just that habit of mindset.
Yeah, I agree with that, because mindset's a big thing for me. I mean, in starting in my journey of doing exploring and hiking, I have to be also mindful of that I'm grateful for what my body allows me to do in whatever shape or form it is in that present moment. In recent hikes or challenging or doing like Mount St. Helens, I made it to the mountain. I'm grateful that I can do that. I have legs and health that I can do that, because working in the medical field, I see so many patients that are limited in that aspect of not being able to do the things or being able to have that freedom to do that. So reminding myself of just sometimes those simple basic things of eating, breathing, walking, doing those things. So
the beauty of nature.
Yeah, and
outside.
Oh my gosh,
breathe that air and look around you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because and also just exploring everything that is having that grateful for the opportunity. Because I'm gonna tell you something. This is a little funny. So all my life, I thought Multnomah Falls was just the bridge.
Oh.
No.
There's so much.
There's like 10, 12, 13, 15 miles, and I've trekked them all now. But I mean, to be able to experience that. I mean, literally, I lived almost 50 years before I even realized there was stuff behind the mountain. I mean, like, but being able to be grateful that my body will allow me to do that. It may not feel like it in the moment sometimes or right after, but having that experience and be grateful for that. So.
I love that. I think that's really a great point. And I think for me, it's not that I'm not grateful, right? It's definitely not. I'm so grateful. I think it's for me, it's the pomp and circumstance that comes with it a lot of times, and the tradition. And I feel like people a lot of times are just like, oh, we're going to say what we're grateful for. And it's not bad. It's just, do you mean it? Are you actually grateful for this? Or, so I think for me, it comes with a little more, because I have moments when I'm grateful. Like when I'm riding, when I'm riding my mountain bike down this great hill and I'm just in nature and I have a particular trail that I've done many, many times, I do find myself just like, wow, this is so cool. I am so glad that I get to experience this moment, that I'm on a mountain bike. Like who would have thought I'd be doing that in my 40s, and just, I do feel that moment of like, wow, this is really cool. And this is my moment. This is my time and my enjoyment. And so I do feel grateful for those, but I think I just like the intentionality of it, which is I think why I love that card idea. That is a great idea. Because I am grateful for the people around me. I'm grateful for the things that I do have, and the life that I get to live. So definitely grateful. I just think for me, it's that way with all traditions. For me, I just like the intention behind it to make sense, to have purpose.
Be more authentic.
Genuine instead of going through the motions.
Yeah.
Well, and I think tapping into that, the card, or it's what is gratitude. So if we're grateful, okay, that can be an internal thing, but do we actually take the next step and let people know, the people in our lives know that we're grateful, and take that extra moment? I know Dawn Renee is really great at, oh, have an awesome day, I'm so grateful for you, or, you're really good at those things, and just to get those messages, or to, share gratitude around something specific, I don't think we realize that when we are sharing our gratitude, what that can do as an impact on those around us.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know in that moment, in that person's day, what that might mean. You know, it's like when you get a card or you get something, you're like, oh, this person thought of me, you know, and,
Right.
you know, that could be a shift that person needs. So it's almost like kind of the example, like when someone wants to do something for you, when you say, oh, no, that's fine, I've got it. When you don't let people help you, or you don't let people gift to you, and you're always giving, then you rob people of that gift. Kind of the same thing with gratitude. If you're not actually like telling people you're grateful, then you're robbing people of kind of the gift of, I guess, knowing how you feel about them, or knowing how you feel about something. So
That's great.
yeah, it's kind of, but I get it. The whole cliche, like, you know, 24 days of gratitude.
Yes.
I don't mind it.
I know.
Just wanted to be on the other side of the teeter-totter.
Okay, I can just
It's all
scroll
right.
past. It's okay. I don't have to look at it.
I'm going to send you 24 texts. Look out.
Oh, no.
Coming soon.
Yes, I love it. Actually, I love that. I would love it. That is great. Well, I think, you know, too, today, I think what you're saying is so pertinent, because when I'm reading this great book on culture, and one of the things that he is talking about specific towards millennials and younger, but, you know, he's like, if you could just show your team specific ways that you are grateful for them, that's actually going to go a lot further than a lot of things that you could do. So, people are just starving to know how they have impacted you, or how they've helped you, or how, you know, they want to know they did a good job. And so just being able to share that can do leaps and bounds. So, yeah,
on a team and an organization, if you have a business, just having that opportunity to give that gratitude and building that in and as part of your norm, and, you know, then it filters down to, you know, our life.
Yeah.
And in your family, you know, grateful up to your parents, grateful down with your children, you know.
And then you said something that you said being your norm. And I think for me, it kind of goes into what Mariah was saying too, but if you put that in that your every day, then it's normal. So it feels more authentic.
Yeah.
It feels more real. Like, you know, not to say 24 texts. If I get them from you, Patty, I'm like, hey, challenge is on, let me tell you. But, I mean, if it's someone that, I mean, if you just literally, I mean, that could be a gratitude thing, you know, try to be or integrate that into your everyday, so then it does feel authentic, so it doesn't have to feel so framed or...
It's November.
Yeah.
This is the 1 month when we are grateful.
Only month a
In
year
November.
that I'm grateful.
Right.
That's
The
it.
month of gratitude stops on the 1st.
I am no longer grateful.
Right.
So I think along all of those lines too, because we talked about, you know, appreciating teams, appreciating friends, family. It's also people feel appreciation differently. So you can be incredibly grateful for somebody or for something, and how you express it might not mean the same thing to everybody. And so that's been a very powerful tool to me as a leader, understanding in different roles I've been in, understanding how the differences in my team and how they want to be appreciated, and trying to see that in other people around me.
So true. You're so right. That's a whole nother conversation. I could definitely go. I love that. It's so true.
Future topic.
And I think that's why I love, you know, what you were saying too, is because I do tend to love, what I love is being able to appreciate someone. Like, I'm about that all day. If I can send a text, or I can send something and just, you know, tell them how great they are or whatever, I will do that all day long. All right. Wow. That was a really great conversation already. I don't even know that we need to ask another question. So any thoughts before we wrap up?
I have a few ideas for
Great.
those families who are traditionalist with we're going to go around the table and share what we're thankful for while the food gets cold before we eat. So a couple ideas. Just go ahead and say, hey, we're still going to say what we're thankful for because that's your family tradition you want to keep, right? Mm-hmm. But in not, withholding the food until it's done. I've been in those situations, if you can tell. And it can be around the table, and then do not go person to person. Puts too much stress and pressure. Let it be a free-flowing, does anyone wish to share? And I hear that a lot from my children who have been in that situation, and they're just like, too much pressure, and I had to say something stupid, and I'm like, and someone else already took mine, and so just really, it's okay to do, but just doing a natural conversation around the table. No one gets into it. Move on. It's okay.
Not a forced
Yeah.
choice
I think
thing.
it's that's what I would say.
Yeah.
That's my little tips.
I like it.
Especially if you have a big family, then you're like, oh my gosh, the food is
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh, that would
And as
drive
the
me
mom
crazy.
who wants it all hot, okay, it's ready. Oh,
The food is delicious now.
we're going to go around to hear 20 people give a speech.
No.
No. So anyway,
I'm glad you said that. That's very important. Very important tip.
Yeah.
Our party Lynn, you listen to her tips.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Any other thoughts before we close?
I think
Everyone's heart is at peace. All right.
We're grateful
All right.
for this
Thank you, guys.
opportunity.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, ladies, for joining us again. And of course, we would love to hear, what are you grateful for? We're just going to go ahead and ask it. And feel free to share. If you're watching from YouTube, make sure you check us out on Facebook, like, subscribe, all the fun things. And of course, we will watch those and make sure that we're getting back to you. So I guess until next time, bye.
Bye.